Hey everyone! I hope you guys had a great spring break. So from here moving forward until we're back in school, I'm going to be working on giving you guys your SDI for your goals. So this one's going to be over order of operations. So if you have a one-step equations, two-step equations, or just order of operations, this is going to be your go-to for resources and help with your packets. I know you guys are going to get your packets on Friday, so since you don't have them yet, I'm just going to spend today giving you some information you can use as resources and then walking through some example problems with you. So I have two PowerPoints I want to go over, and then we're going to do some example problems together. So our first PowerPoint, we're going to go over order of operations. So for order of operations, we use PEMDAS. So our first thing is parentheses. So parentheses of any kind, and then exponents, multiplication or division, and we do that in the order from left to right that they appear in the problem. And then we move to addition and subtraction, also in the order of the problem from left to right. So I know our favorite mistake that a lot of us make is to complete problems from left to right, just the way we see them. So this is a really good example to show you why order of operations is super important. Because in this problem, if we do addition, then division, and then multiplication, we're going to get a different answer than if we use order of operations. In order of operations, the first thing we're going to do is division, because it appears before multiplication when we read the problem from left to right. Then we're going to do our multiplication. Then we do addition. So as you can see, there's two completely different answers. One is correct, one is not. So it's really important we make sure we're using order of operations in our problems. So in this problem, we're going to follow the left to right rule. So we solve multiplication or division as it appears in the problem. Then we move on to addition and subtraction as it appears. So in 54 divided by 6 plus 18 times 2, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide. So 54 divided by 6 is 9, and then we bring down the rest of the problem. Now we have 9 plus 18 times 2. Our next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply, and then we bring down the rest of the problem. So that leaves us with 9 plus 36. We only have one operation, so we're going to add and get our answer of 45. When we have exponents, it's really important we remember that 5 to the second power, also known as 5 squared, does not mean 5 times 2. It means 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. So right here is where we get what 5 squared is. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply. Then we're going to subtract. When we have parentheses, that's the first thing we solve. So as they showed here, we're going to solve what's in the parentheses. Then we're going to solve the exponent. Remember, this isn't 4 times 2, it's 4 times 4. Then we're going to multiply because it appears first. Then we're going to divide. Okay. So that's what I had for that PowerPoint. This PowerPoint is going to delve into a little more of what order of operations is. So order of operations is the order in which you solve math problems. Like I said, we use PEMDAS, which is parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division as it appears in the problem from left to right, and then addition and subtraction as it appears in the problem from left to right. So when remembering PEMDAS, we use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So that's a way you can remember what the order of operations steps are. Down here, when we have a number in parentheses with another number outside of it, that means to multiply. So this also means this. So here we have 2 plus, and then in parentheses, 3 times x. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve what's in this parentheses. And we're going to bring down the rest of the problem. And then we're going to do our second operation, which is addition, to get our answer of 20. We look down here at this one. We have 28 minus 3 squared times 2. So first we're going to do is 3 squared. And that's not 3 times 2, it's 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. Next thing we're going to do, when we have 28 minus 9 times 2, so we're going to multiply. 9 times 2 is 18. We're going to bring down the rest of the problem. Now we have 28 minus 18, which is 10. Over here, we have 3 plus 5 in parentheses squared minus 2. We're going to solve our parentheses first. 3 plus 5 is 8. We're left with 8 squared minus 2. So now we're going to solve our exponent. 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. We're going to bring down our minus 2. So we're left with 64 minus 2, which gives us our answer of 62. Okay, so here we have 12 times 2 minus 4 times 6. First thing we're going to do is our multiplication over here of 12 times 2 should be 24, and then we would bring the rest of this down. We have 4 times 6, which is 24, and then we would subtract 24 minus 24, which gives us our answer of 0. So I want to go over some example problems with you. Okay. Over here we have 6 times 10 times 6 plus 8 in parentheses. So the first thing we're going to want to do is solve what's in the parentheses. And we're going to bring down the rest. So we'll have 6 times 10 times 6 plus 8 is 14. Okay, Now we're left with 6 times 10 times 14. Okay. Our next thing we're going to do is we have 2 times of multiplication, but we're going to do from left to right. So we're going to do 6 times 10, which is 60. And then we're going to bring down the rest of the problem. So it'll be 60 times 14. Okay, now we only have one operation, so we're going to do 60 times 14. And 60 times 14 is 840. Okay, so our next problem, we have 13 plus 4 in parentheses times 8 minus 5. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve what's in the parentheses. So we have 13 plus 4, which is 17, times 8 minus 5. Okay. Now we have 17 times 8 minus 5. The next thing we're going to do is our multiplication. So we have 17 times 8, which is 136. Minus 5. We're left with 136 minus 5. And that is 131. Moving on to our next problem, we have 11 plus 2 in parentheses plus 15 divided by 3. So the first thing we're going to do is what's in our parentheses. So that's 11 plus 2, which is 13. And we're going to bring down the rest of the problem. So we're going to have plus 15 divided by 3. Okay. Now we have 13 plus 15 divided by 3. The next thing we're going to do is our division. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. We're going to bring down the rest of the problem. So we have 13 plus 5. And 13 plus 5 is 18. So our answer is 18. Our next problem, we have 12 plus 38 in parentheses divided by 30 minus 5 in parentheses. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve our parentheses. In the order that they appear. So we have 38 plus 12, which is 50. Divided by 30 minus 5 in parentheses. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is our second set of parentheses. So 30 minus 5 is 25. And we're going to bring down the rest of the problem. So we'll have 50 divided by 25. And 50 divided by 25 is 2. Our next problem, we have 9 plus 23 minus 2 in parentheses divided by 10. So the first thing we're going to want to solve is our parentheses. Now when we look at our parentheses, we have addition and subtraction. So we're going to solve in the order that they appear from left to right. So we have 9 plus 23, which is 32, and then we're going to subtract 2, which is 30. And we're going to bring down our rest of our problem of divided by 10. So now we're left with 30 divided by 10, which is 3. Our next problem, we have 3 times 11 times 3 minus 2 in parentheses. Our parentheses are the first thing we're going to solve. So that'll be 3 times 11 times 3 minus 2 is 1. Now we have 2 multiplications, so we're going to solve these in the order that they appear from left to right. So we have 3 times 11, which is 33. And we're going to bring down our times 1. Now we're left with 33 times 1. And 33 times 1 is 33. our problem up here. We have 10 plus 50 in parentheses divided by -1 plus 6 in parentheses. So we're going to solve our parentheses from left to right. So 10 plus 50 would be 60. So we have 60 divided by and then in parentheses -1 plus 6 We're going to solve our second set of parentheses, which is -1 plus 6. -1 plus 6 would just be 6 minus 1, which is 5. When we bring down the rest of the problem, we're left with 60 divided by 5. And 60 divided by 5 is 12. This problem, we have 18 plus 2 in parentheses times 14 plus 4. Parentheses is the first thing we're going to solve. So we have 18 plus 2, which is 20. We'll bring down the rest of the problem, which will give us times 14 plus 4. Okay, now we have 20 times 14 plus 4. Multiplication comes before addition. So we have 20 times 14, which is 280. And then we'll bring down the plus 4. Only operation we have left is 280 plus 4, which will give us 284. We have 9 minus 3 in parentheses plus 18 divided by 6. First thing we're going to do is solve our parentheses. 9 minus 3 is 6. So we'll have 6, bring down the rest of the problem, which will give us 6 plus 18 divided by 6. We have addition and division. So the first thing we're going to do is our division. 18 divided by 6 is 3. And then we're going to bring down the 6 plus. Six plus 3 is 9. So our answer is 9. And our last problem, we have 11 plus 52 minus 3 in parentheses divided by 4. So first thing we're going to do is solve what's in the parentheses. We have addition and subtraction, so we're going to solve those in the order that they appear. So we have 11 plus 52, which is 63, minus 3, which will give us 60. So we have 60 divided by 4. Divided by 4 is 15. So our answer is 15. Okay. So we're going to continue this more next week, and then we're going to start working on one-step and two-step equations and using order of operations and word problems. You guys will be getting your packets on Friday, so if you have any questions, you can always reach me by email, and if not, I will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week.